What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk to you about something that's been talked about quite a bit for the past week or so on all outlets of media, YouTube and Yahoo especially, and that is the whole controversial things going on with the Star Wars franchise. There is a ton of these videos on YouTube where people are talking about it. And naturally, I felt I had to say something about it and tell you the truth on the whole Star Wars thing. And Disney. Disney is owned by, or the CEO of Disney is Robert Iger, I think. That's how you pronounce it. Iger, something like that. Anyways, Robert could give a rat's ass what the fans think about the franchise. He's going to do what he wants to do. It's his company and he owns all of it, so therefore there's nothing you can do about it. As a fan, I'm not happy about it any more than you are. He is very politically motivated and he is so pro-feminist and SJW, it's not even funny. He's been very open and outspoken about this. The guy is into everything. He's basically owns ABC and Apple. He's also now got Fox. He's got Marvel, including, Star Wars and Disney. Yeah, the guy's not going to hurt, if you stop watching his films. He don't care. It's chump change to him. He don't care what the fans think. In fact, he does it on purpose. It's kind of like a revenge thing, kind of like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum. He's basically slapping it back in the fans' face. That he can do whatever he feels like. So naturally, when the fans wanted the woman who is the president of the Star Wars franchise right now, they all wanted to get rid of her, which Disney should have gotten rid of her. I don't disagree. She's literally helped ruin the franchise. But naturally, Disney said, you know what? I don't care what the fans want. I'm going to do what I want. So Robert gave her a 3-year contract, telling her she can stick around. So as long as they make a little bit of money, who cares? They're making bank. The guy's got to be one of the richest people in the world. I'm telling you, it's chump change to him if he loses some money off of it. He don't care, and he definitely does not care what the fans want. It's all a money game. But literally, I just don't understand where people are saying, we need a Kenobi film when we don't need a Kenobi film. Nobody cares about Kenobi. We already know all about there is to know about Kenobi. We don't need to know anymore. They were originally going to start off with Boba Fett, which is what they should have done. There's not a lot known about Boba Fett except for, you got a little backstory from episode 1, and, that he was like an unaltered clone of Jango Fett, which, whatever, but I didn't care for that story arc too much, but they were going to show how he eventually becomes the bounty hunter we all love and have come to know. That's the story they should have started with. Instead, we got this really cheesy, and some disagree, but most agree with me on this. I'm telling you right now. I've seen all the reviews on it. We got this cheesy ass movie about how they stole the death plans, the stole the Death Star plans of Rogue One, and there was no Jedi in it. You know, the best scene in the entire movie, which I barely made through, was when it showed Darth Vader at the end. You know, spoiler alert. Oh well. But yeah, that's the only scene in the entire movie that was any good. The rest of it was just hogwash. It was terrible. It was boring and drawn out. And the acting was just, practically no one on that movie knew how to act, I'm telling you. Then we got a movie we really didn't need at all, which was the Solo movie. We definitely did not need the Solo movie. I mean, you know, I like Han Solo, but and the Solo movie was okay. It's just it wasn't up to par. It wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. We already know quite a bit about Han Solo. What's more is there need to know? Again, same thing like Kenobi. We don't need one. However, the movie we do need, above all the others, is the Yoda movie. Everyone is wanting the Yoda movie. Why won't they do a Yoda backstory? I mean, he's 900 and some years old. They could do all kinds of stuff with the Yoda character. Everybody wants to see him when he was younger and he was learning the Force. That's the movie we need. Or they need to do something where they go back and, you know, how the Force started and how the Sith began and all that stuff. You know, they need to go back then and how it all got started. The Jedi Order, all that. They could do something, you know, original, not this. We already know much about these characters and stuff. Do something else. But yeah, they're just, Disney likes to slap people in the face and just push whatever crap they want to in political means. Nobody cares about this new cartoon called Resistance either. Nobody even cares to see it. Same thing goes with Rebels. Nobody liked Rebels. Rebels was a flop. And you'll see that because they're bringing back the Clone Wars cartoon. And I've watched Clone Wars and you know, I liked it, but they're and because the fans, I think that's one of the things the fans got was that they were able to get the Clone Wars back. Now apparently they're going to do a TV series called The Mandalorian. So basically, I guess they're going to try to go back and talk about. I don't know if they're going to go back and do, you know, when the Mandalorians were fighting the Jedi Order, or they're going to do the whole Clone War thing where they start Death Watch. I don't know what they're going to do there. It hasn't really been said, only that's the title, and it's going to be something to do with the Mandalorians. Hopefully they go back to when the Mandalorians and the Jedi War started. You know, that whole war. Anyways, yeah, my opinion on Star Wars is that they need to ex-nay the last few movies and just start from scratch on 7, 8, and 9 again. They need to start all over and get rid and don't even call it canon. As far as I'm concerned, that's not canon. Star Wars canon. Anything J.J. Abrams gets involved in, he ruins and destroys. They've made some really poor decisions, Disney has, concerning Star Wars. And there's a lot of it you see in Marvel too. But Marvel, just because everybody wants to see their favorite superheroes on the big screen, they've kind of just let them get away with some of the political stuff they throw in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe too. But they shouldn't. But they have, because, you know, they want to see their favorite superheroes on the screen, big screen, you know. So it's like, oh, you know, I'll just let it slide, you know. You shouldn't do that, because then you're not really a true fan. The thing I hate about most of these movies, especially superhero movies, is when you have an original story that has not been told on the big screen, that no one's seen or has really heard except for a few hardcore fans. That's the story you need to show on the big screen, because that's what made it famous. That's what made it popular. And you know, Hollywood doesn't do that. They rewrite the entire story every time. They go to you know, someone thinks they can make it better, which they can't, but that's what they do, and then they ruin the character and its backstory and everything else. But hopefully, you know, eventually we'll see Hollywood gets its crap in gear and get back on track the way movies and storytelling should be told, and stop worrying so much about making the money as to tell the story. And please stop with all the freaking horror movies. It's like tons of horror movies just keep coming out. Either that or it's a superhero movie. Superhero or horror flicks. It's just getting ridiculous, you know. Let's do some other sci-fi. Where's all the space and outer space sci-fi adventures? You just don't see it. You know, Star Wars is practically it. But anyways, that's all I have time for today. That's all I have to say about that. Whether you're a fan or not, you know, Star Wars needs a lot. Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, they all need help really bad. Hopefully someone gets in there and fixes the problem and slaps Ager in the face and tells him, hey, wake up, you know, you're doing it all wrong. But who knows? Hopefully that'll happen. We'll see. And I told you I'd be telling you the truth, and you've just been told.